Liverpool 0, Manchester United 4. United are the champions of the Bangkok Century Cup in there for you. Erik ten Hag's first game, and United went ahead to at least get us glimpses of what we call the Ten Hag ball. The press was immense. Lots of mistakes seen by the manager, as we said in his post-match press conference. And in here onto United Matters channel, I'm here to really come in and really let you what my thoughts are about this game in there for you. My highlights of the game, the big positives, the big negatives in there for you. But I'm really going to be optimistic about this because I really believe that optimism is the way to go in there for you after Erik ten Hag operated with a team that looked like not good enough to go ahead and compete ahead of Liverpool, because for every 30 minutes Liverpool brought on 10 players, 8 players. For every 30 minutes Liverpool brought on 10 players. You get? For United, we only had to change 11 players in the first half. The first half lineup that started had the following players in the for you. If I told you really never watched this game, allow me really let you know how it really went down in there at a side which goes by the names of Bangkok Ramanja Stadium in there for you. That's how the team lined up for United in there for you. And we had David De Gea in goal, Diego Dello, Rafael Varane, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, Freddie. That was a double midfield pivot. Sancho on the right wing, Fernandes playing as a central attack midfielder, Rashford off the left, and Antoine Martial led the line in there for you. Goal scorers was Sancho, first scored the goal in there for you. Then Freddie scored a dink. Then a player who goes by the names of Martial really did a very good press. He pressed the defender of Liverpool. He applied pressure on him. He lost the ball. Antoine Martial made a diagonal run into the 6 yards box area of Liverpool and really chipped that ball past the goalkeeper, who goes by the names of Alisson, to make it 3. Then Pelestri, Ahmad, and Bay and Eric Bay really did a very good combination to go ahead and give United what we call a very super fourth goal in there for you. Eric Bay really was immense. He defended very well in there for you, and he went ahead to go ahead and really make that run through the midfield, and he passed through the press of Liverpool. He passed that ball to Facundo Pelestri. Then Pelestri did pace up. He paced up in the midfield and then passed that ball to a man who goes by the names of Diallo. And Diallo really took his time and really did a very good pass to Facundo Pelestri, and Pelestri found the back of them to make it 4 United and Liverpool 0 in there for you. When you look at this game, there are things we have to talk about a lot. The goalkeeper David De Gea, the saves he made for United. In the first 9 minutes, Liverpool had 4 shots. 4 shots. 1 hitting the post, 3 being saved by David De Gea. That means in the first 10 minutes, Liverpool would have been ahead by 3 or 4 goals ahead. But David De Gea put up a very exquisite performance in there for you. It was really nice and so much good in there for you. That is a man who goes by the name of David De Gea. And secondly, he has added a lot to his game. A ball-playing goalkeeper. You see, he was so much confident when passing that ball with the goalkeeper in there for you. And you've seen the way they really start their ball. It's the defenders. It's the defender who starts it to David De Gea. Then David De Gea spreads wide, or he goes wide onto the right winger or the right back in there for you. But he really played a very good job, and I really like the way he really did his job in there for you. David De Gea was immense into that team in there for you. But my worry, I'm going to do positives and negatives mixed up in there for you, because lots of things are in my head about this game. It ended close to 5 hours ago, and it's now that I'm really doing this, so I have to be so much detail onto this. When you look at Manchester United, it shows you how bad we are in the midfield. Who is that person who's really going to get that ball from the back 4 and really pass it to the likes of Bruno? Bruno looked isolated, Sancho looked isolated, Martial looked isolated, and Rashford looked isolated in there, because no one could link that midfield to the forward line. Freddie tried, but not as much as he could. We need a certified CDM and De Jong. Apart from De Jong, people will go on, let's bring in De Jong, we'll do it. Not really. De Jong will help us do those progressive runs and passes in there for you, but we need a central defensive midfielder to give a cover up to that back 4 in there for you. Look at Liverpool. They have Fabinho. They have Henderson. You get? They have very many players who can really give that defense a back for. Even Milner. Let me show you how bad we are. The CDM that Liverpool has in their 3rd picking order, no one at United matches him. That is a man who goes by the name of James Milner. James Milner comes in, he can play anywhere because he's a utility player, but he can play in the CDM role. He can really get that ball well off the back foot and really pass it forward. For us, we have none of the players we have. The only ones we have are Charlie Savage and Iqbal Zidane. They came up and did the job that Scott McTominay couldn't do that midfield. You get? Freddie is good, but he's not a central defensive midfielder. He tried to really get that ball from the back foot and really pass it, but it's not how a CDM should really do that distribution. We are lacking that player at Manchester United in there for you. But Sancho, he could have registered close to two assists in there for you. Remember that one, he really got and really squared that ball to find Marcus Rashford. Rashford hit it, and the defender of Liverpool, I think it was Joe Gomez, laid in to really block that shot to go to the back of the net. The other one was when he released Diego Dello. Diego Dello ran into closure, into a very narrow angle, and then went for a shot, and it hit the frame of the goal. That is the man who goes by the name of Diego Dello. So Sancho played in very well, and I really liked the way he really scored that first goal. The composure, the calmness. You get, he was perfect, and he really did a very perfect pass between the goal of Liverpool, you get, and the goalkeeper, because a finish is always between the goalkeeper of the team you're scoring against and the goal of your opponent. So he really did a very good finish that I really would like to see moments of those coming up more and more in there for you. Good start for Erik ten Hag, though he's not happy with the mistakes we did, especially when passing that ball, and he said he really saw loads and loads of mistakes in there for you. The other player to talk about is Freddie. That dink was really massive, but leaving alone the dink, to me what really made that goal stand out was the press that was into how United really got that ball, the way we passed it to reach Freddie, you get, because Bruno Fernandes was passed through the midfield, then he made a run. I thought he was going to pass it wide to find Jadon Sancho because Sancho really had acres of space for him. But guess what? Guess what Bruno did? He squeezed it in the middle to find Anton Martial. Anton Martial gets hit and he's being pulled down by the defender of Liverpool. Then Martial fights around, and as he fought around, that ball deflected off him. It found Freddie. Then Freddie did a very good dink past the goalkeeper of a team which goes by the names of Liverpool to make it 2-0 in there for you. Now, my moment of the match is what Anton Martial did. That press, the way he pressed that Liverpool defender. He ran to him and made it hard for him. So the coming in of Anton Martial was fierce. It really sent fear into the central defender of Liverpool. Hence, fidgeting. After fidgeting, Anton Martial got hold of that ball. He made a diagonal run into the box of Liverpool. Everyone thought that he could go in and really do a minus for Rashford, because Rashford was really alone, you get, in the wilderness, and he could really go on to score or sit down that Liverpool defender. Then he really finds a very good perfect shot. But guess what? He went in to chip that ball past the goalkeeper. It was really nice. It was nicely taken, and that's why they voted him to be the man of the match in there for you. But that run he made, he was not so much involved into that game. He was isolated. He didn't get enough chances, to an extent that he even had only one shot on target, and that one shot on target was the one that resulted into that third goal of United. You get, Martial really did a very good job in there for you. Rashford, not all that impressed, but I really believe that the fire is really showing that it's really coming. The fire is on. The fire is on for Marcus Rashford in there for you. According to what I've seen in this game, the fire is like starting in there for you. He has petrol on him now. Fire is lighting up slowly by slowly in there for you, but he needs some confidence, and what brings confidence is him to go in those games, into those games and really score us goals. That ball that Sancho gave him that really never went to the back of the net, that was blocked by the defender of Liverpool, really did him. But I will believe that he needs more confidence. I will believe that the likes of Sancho, Martial are more confident right now. So Rashford just needs to really get in a moment. And I know in the games of Melbourne, Crystal Palace, and Aston Villa, those three games, I know he would have gained the confidence he needs in there for you. When talk of Lindelof and Rafael Varane, the high line. For those who have been always asking about the high line, so that's what we call the high line. They play at the center half, but because we don't have a central defensive midfielder, you saw how much we were exposed every time that high line was beaten, or our press really was beaten by Liverpool. 2 times, almost the 3 shots out of the 4 shots that Liverpool had in the entire in the entire first half, 3 of those resulted into Liverpool beating our press. And Scott McTominay couldn't find himself into the perfect position he's supposed to be. I don't know why he was so much pulled with the ball. Where the ball was going, that's where he was. Until when Eric Ten Hag changed it and said, all right, Freddie, act as a sitting midfielder. Let Scott McTominay do the box-to-box role in there for you. But there are couple of passes, couple of movements, couple of passing. Ten Hag ball, you saw it in there for you, at least for some times, not for very many times, but United really put their stamp onto Liverpool into that first half in there for you. But Diego Dello looked great in there for you. Diaz was really a very hard person to defend, but I will believe that we will go ahead and really make it hard for United in there. United will go ahead to make it hard for its opponents in there for you, especially when you are really going to the attack. Especially when you're going to the attack in there for you. But when you look at players, which other player should I talk about? Bruno Fernandes. Every time he really got on that ball, he showed like he's a changed person. In that area, that resulted into the second goal of Freddie dinking the goalkeeper. If it was Bruno way back, I knew he was going to go in for a shot. He couldn't go in for a pass. And remember on the plane, he was really filming and vlogging. He told Antoine Martial, guess who is back? Antoine Martial is back. Antoine Martial told him, yes. Then Bruno told him, you're going to score goals again. Then Antoine Martial told him, you have to get me assists. I think when he was really running to that space, that ran into his mind and said, oh, I promised this man to give him an assist. All assists in there for you. He really passed it to him, but he was crowded around it. He had Liverpool defenders crowded around him, and he couldn't really do the turns in there for you. But that ball resulted into that goal of Freddie in there for you. But Bruno, every time he really got that ball, he really passed in well. And this time around, he never did aimless passes. I didn't see him really lose the ball so much as he used to do. I think he is really being coached very well and being told that, please, if you want to be a world-class player, you have to do a BCD on the ball. So today I've seen an improved Bruno Fernandes. Even in the third or fifth minute of the game, there is some good ball that he really did through, but Freddie really failed to really go ahead to pass it to Sancho. But he really ran into the midfield. 2 Liverpool midfielders ran onto him, and there is the way he used his quick foot and really took them off, and then he put up a pass to find a man who goes by the name of Freddie. But Freddie couldn't really release Sancho in there for you. So every time Bruno got that ball, he was really so much concentrated. He was not fidgeting. He couldn't really just shoot it aimlessly. He was really on point in there for you. So I really like the first half in there for you. So lots of things to talk about in the first half, but we don't have time in there for you because even the second half was there. Second half, my man of the moment was Eric Bailly. The way he really provided that cover and defended very well, it was really immense. Remember, he was defending with Telles. Telles is a left back. And, he's a calamity, especially in most cases. Brazilian players are good, but they have their own weaknesses. You get? Sometimes when you expect them to rise up to the occasion, they really make silly mistakes in there for you. But Telles played into that central defense with Eric Bailly, and Eric Bailly really showed Eric Ten Hag that at least have a thought about me. Have something to think about me. And I think thoughts of Eric Ten Hag on Eric Bailly have changed because Eric Bailly showed us that he's really a very good defender. Sliding in, he doesn't fear. He gives his all when he puts on that shirt of United. That's one thing I really like about Eric Bailly. That's it. That's what I like about Eric Bailly. He gives out his all when he's playing for United. He loves this shirt. He gives his spirit out for United. You get? I can't imagine how many times he risked his leg to save United in that central defense and to make it so much important and sound so much message sending to his agent, the manager of Manchester United, and all the people out there that they're looking out for central defenders. The 4th goal that we scored, he showed us that he has a very big heart. He's so much brave. Liverpool had pressed us. You know what Liverpool does? When you start that ball, because they stole that ball, it was like a pass trying to find Darwin Núñez. Then he really came in through and really stole it. When he stole it, Liverpool players thought that, he was really going to go on and pass, and dilly-dolly around it with the ball. That's not what he did. He passed through the central axis of the midfield that Scott McTominay couldn't do during the first half. This is a defender that went ahead to break through the press of Liverpool, through the middle of the park. And he finds Pellistri. When he finds Pellistri paces up. He passes it to to Amad Diallo, and then Amad Diallo gets back a pass to Pelestri, and Facundo Pelestri scored a very good goal in there to make it in there for you. And in the first half, in the second half, there is something that Erik ten Hag did that was not right. There is no way you play Amad Diallo as a number 10. You get? And for that goal to come in through, they had interchanged. Pelestri was leading the line, and Amad Diallo was playing off the right wing. You get? So I will believe that that was really something that he's really going to get to know about Amad Diallo and Pelestri. Now, when you look at Amad Diallo, to me, I will believe that there is a player in him. And I 100% don't believe that we should hurry to go in and bring in Anthony, as people are really in here. Anthony. No. Anthony is not the problem that United is having. You get? The problem is the central midfield. Let's fix the central midfield. Let's get in 2 midfielders. If we get in De Jong, let's get in a CDM. Either Tielemans, Ruben Neves, Sangare, or Paredes. Let's get in a player up to that quality that is going to give our defense a back foot. It's going to get that ball from the back foot and really pass it, not sideways, but through the central axis of the pitch. That's what we want. That's what we want. Because I know Amad Diallo, if at all you really have a De Jong, a Paredes standing into that double midfield pivot, trust me, the Amad Diallo of this world will go in and really give you everything that you want. Trust me, he will. Because he knows that he's going to get that ball more often, you get, and will go on to score goals. Anthony Martial has shown you that he's clinical. 1 chance, 1 shot on target, 1 goal. Sancho, get him on the ball more times either for you. Rashford, do the same. Bruno, do the same. Let's unleash the magic either for you. And there is no way we are really going to go ahead and succeed if at all our midfield is not settled. For the 4th year in a row, we are really yearning for a midfielder who is going to come in and really give us that command in the central defense. There is no way you're going to come on and really boss Liverpool with the midfield. Even if you have Eriksen, you have De Jong, when you don't have a sitting midfielder to really get that ball from the back foot in there for you, you aren't going to dominate them. That's what we need urgently at United in there for you. That's what even Ten Hag talked about. But there are 2 players that we want to talk about. That is Charlie Savage, and Zidane Iqbal. Those 2 guys. You know what it means being at Manchester United in the academy, and you come back and in the second half, when you're playing almost the first team of Liverpool, and you show Scott McTominay what he's supposed to be doing. It's always not in the right order of mind to say that these young ones made Scott McTominay to be their understudy. Scott McTominay, if I'm Ten Hag, seated there on the bench with Scott McTominay after taking him off from the first half, I would have told them that read what Charlie Savage and Iqbal are doing in the midfield like a book. That's what you're supposed to do. But I think it's past his knowledge and brain. He's 25. Can he really make those turns that Charlie Savage did, that Iqbal did, the confidence they had whenever they got that ball? He can't. And I will believe that there is a surprise package that Ten Hag is preparing for us in those 2 midfielders. For the reason that I read a story that Erik ten Hag was so much surprised onto why Iqbal had not been given chance to start into the United starting 11 the previous seasons, because the way he passes, no one passes better than him onto the field of play. He's the best passer of the ball. Him and Charlie Savage, they're the best passers of the ball. Now, the parent of Charlie Savage is Robbie Savage. For those that have been supporting Premier League for so long, you know Robbie Savage, for him, he was not like his son. For him, he was really a very, 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 very tough and hard midfielder in there for you. He was talented, but he had his game had a lot of fouls and really making hard tackles in there for you. So he had something to say for his son when he really got this game done against Liverpool in there for you. He said, Robbie Savage on his son's performance of Liverpool in there for you after United beating Liverpool 4-0. He said, so proud, Charlie Savage. Thought you were terrific. A Maradona turn on edge of your own box. Who did you get that from? Finally, a Savage that can play in there for you. So, obviously, I have to ask him this, that whom did you get this from? Because if at all you watch the father is totally different from the son. Robbie Savage is the opposite of Charlie Savage. Charlie Savage is so much soft. His flair is out of this world in there for you, for a boy who goes by the names of this Savage guy in there for you. So those two boys really made my day, and I thought that they need a shout out in here, onto this channel in here, which goes by the names of United Matters channel in there for you. Then Erik ten Hag said, of course, we are satisfied because it was a team with a great spirit, but we've just started. Obviously, we've just started and expect lots of things to come in through. He said the team was brave and proactive. We made some mistakes with pressing, but created a lot in there for you. All right, the press was really good. The press was really good. I really like the way we pressed in there for you, but we made some mistakes in the pressing in there for you, because when you're pressing, you have to look at the blind side of the field. Every time Liverpool broke our press, it was because we had left that blind side of the field unattended to. That's why Diaz, in the first half, had become a problem to us. But I really liked the way Rafael Varane and Victor Lindelof partnered into their central defense. They really looked great. They partnered very well, and they really read him like a book. The only option they gave him was to shoot on goal, and he never sat them down, because if at all he really sat them down and really faced the head, it would have been a different story altogether in the first 9 minutes of the game. So he says we made lots of mistakes in there for you. And this is what he said again. Believe me, I have seen lots of mistakes. It will take a lot of team. It will take a lot of team. We have not overestimated this result in there for you. That is a man who goes by the names of Erik ten Hag in there for you. Obviously, you know what Erik ten Hag has? Every modern coach has a video analyst. As he's on field of play, the video analyst is there watching and telling him, this is this, this is it. So what the manager does, he cuts out, the video analyst cuts out all the clips, all the moments for each player, when he was having the ball and when you're not having the ball. So they give them to you and you watch them. And I know United is traveling to Melbourne tomorrow, so they're really going to do that homework throughout the night. And every night is going to tell them that you did ABCD. When you're pressing, you have to do ABCD, you get? Because I cannot blame them a lot, because it's the first game under Erik ten Hag. And you know that Erik ten Hag is a perfectionist. He's not a person who's going to just come in and say, oh, please, do ABCD, do ABCD. No, that's not Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is perfectionist. He wants to win the game of football with high up in possession, first and foremost. He wants to win this game of football with lots of chances created. He wants to see those passes. Even if he wins 10-0, when he has not seen that Ten Hag ball, the intensity, the press, the passing, the accuracy, the crosses, the creativity, because he wants to see to it that whatever I do to Liverpool, I can go ahead and do it against Brighton. It has to be a consistent go on or consistent drive for the team in there for you as Manchester United. So that's why everyone is saying we really did a lot of mistakes, and he really saw lots of mistakes, but he appreciated the win, that they are now the champions of the Century Cup in there for you. Then Terry Malasia came in through. He was really not settled into the game a lot, but after like 15 minutes in there for you, he settled in a lot. But you don't blame him a lot, because they changed loads. They brought in, like, he faced close to 2 right wingers of Liverpool, because he first faced who did he first face? Because Salah came in last, and I think Chamberlain was the first he faced in there for you. Then they brought in Mohamed Salah in there for you. But that's what a debut is all about in there for you. And the good thing is that it's a friendly, and it being a friendly, we expect lots of things from him to come in later, because he's really a very good and talented guy. What did he say after this game? He said, I want to bring some good defense. I want to bring some good defense, assists and energy to the team. That is Terrell Malasia. He said, it's a dream for me to play in the Premier League. In there for you, that is Terrell Malasia for you after the game. And this is what he had to say in there for you. So that's what he had for you onto this channel in there for you. You can as well go and tell me who your man of the match was. To me, my man of the match was either between David De Gea, Eric Bay, and Sancho in there for you. But I'm giving it Eric Bay, because he was really playing with a team that had 2 young boys giving a cover to his central defense. That is Charlie Savage and Zidane Iqbal in there for you. They did their job, but this was beyond their weight. It was beyond their weight, because Liverpool had most of their senior players come on through, but we kept a clean sheet, and Eric Bay was a monster into that defense in there for you. He really made it hard for people like Salah, Darwin Núñez especially. If there is something that Eric Bay did better today, it was really making Darwin Núñez silent into that game. Even the sitter that he got, Eric Bailly laid himself down. And I will believe that it's the reason as to why that sitter really never really went in. And people have not yet seen that. The reason as why he missed that sitter, because a player who goes by the names of Salah cuts inside, cuts that ball, it really hits the post, and it really gets back to the field of play. You get? Then Darwin Núñez gets a sitter. That's the sitter he got. You see it? But what really stops him from really getting a net to beat? Eric Bailly sliding into that box in there. You see how Eric Bailly slided? That player you see sliding down is Eric Bailly in there for you. So that is Eric Bailly in there for you, doing the needful for Manchester United in there for you. And Antoine Martial was named the man of the match in there for you. And let me show you how they really handed over the trophy to him. That is Martial. That is Antoine Martial being handed the player of the match award in there for you. So it's good to see that Martial is back, because to me, I will believe that there is a player in him. There is a player in Martial. There is a player in Martial, and this is the last chance he's having at United. I think under a manager like Ten Hag, he's really going to blossom. He's really going to blossom because he's really going to be having real ballers around him, and chances are going to be created. Because when you remember that season when he scored 23 goals against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, all those chances that he scored, it was all about playing on the break. We never had a systematic system of play that we play like this. It was all about running, you get, and hitting teams on the break. But this time around, it's all about a detailed style of play that you know that if we play like this, we're really going to go ahead and really get in results for a side which goes by names of Manchester United in there for you. So before I really leave out, you can as well go into your comment section and tell me who do you think your man of the match was according to you. You can tell me who your man of the match was, but before we really leave, allow me play you this. These are some of the moments captured. That was the dressing room of Manchester United. That's how it looked as the Reds go for marching here for you. This is the captain. Sorry, that is Rafael Varane. By the way, I was so much surprised to see Rafael Varane in the starting lineup because he never trained yesterday with the team. We don't know what was wrong with him, but he never trained, but he returned and really played very well with Victor Lindelof into that central defense. That's the team warming up. David De Gea, I really like that kit. It really looks nice. It really looks nice for you. That is the starting 11 of Manchester United. David De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Lindelof, Martial, Luke Shaw, Bruno the captain, Sancho, Freddie, Rashford, and Scott McTominay. You get? And Scott McTominay in there for you. Then Ten Hag issuing some orders on the field of play. He was communicating to Martial in there for you. Then that is Diego Delo with Fasas Carvalho of Liverpool in there for you. That is Sancho taking on, is it Carvalho in there for you? Sancho in there for you. Then that is United players celebrating that goal of Freddie. I see Bruno Fernandes. I see Scott McTominay, Freddie, and Rashford in there for you. What a dink it was. And Freddie looking up in the sky, telling Lord, you're good. Thanks for this goal in there for you. That is how Martial scored that goal of Liverpool in there for you. That is the third goal of United. And he really got past the defender. And then Jadon Anderson couldn't be at his fastest pace to come in and really close him down. But Martial really made that goal and he celebrated and really said, I'm back in there for you. That's the celebration with the likes of Bruno Fernandes in there for you. So one of the things I had really forgotten to talk about is Scott McTominay. Guys, you might be lovers of Scott McTominay, but let me tell you this. He's not fit to start into that United 11. He's not fit at all in the midfield. Today, they've given him two roles. He has failed them. He was first played as a sitting midfielder. He couldn't do that because whenever we got that ball, he could hide from the defenders. Can you imagine? He could hide himself. He's not even brave enough to really say, all right, let me go and really get that ball from David De Gea or what. Every time De Gea started that ball to Lindelof, all Varane, therefore in the defense, he was nowhere to be seen. He was hiding. That means he's not a CDM, because the main role of a CDM when we are really starting that game of play is to get that ball from the back four and then pass it forward. He couldn't. Secondly, even going forward and playing as a box-to-box player, he couldn't do that. So I will believe that it's time for United to get in midfielders that are really going to go in and help us to do the needful. More signings have been called on by Erik ten Hag, and we are really waiting to see what happens with De Jong. Lisandro Martinez is still like it's going to go on and progress to the level where we want it. Later, I'm going to come up with a live video to talk about that deal in there for you. Thank you guys for watching again. I go by the names of Rock and David. Your reactions to this game are welcome in the comment section below. I'm sorry for coming in there to do this video, but all I know is that better late than never. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this video, and thank God, by the way, you're monetized in there for you, so you can buy in some super chats in there for you. So we are really ready to rumble in there for you. I go by the names of Rock and David. United Matters channel is what we are really broadcasting on. I'm out.